Let's use the conjugate beam method to find the maximum deflection and rotation for this beam. So first we determine the bending moment diagram, which has a maximum value of PL on 4 at midspan for a simply supported beam under a point load, and dividing through by EI gives the curvature diagram. Now to construct our conjugate beam, we need to match the boundary conditions of the real beam. So at a pin, the rotation is not restrained, so it can be non-zero, but the deflection is 0 at a pin support. And at the other end, we have a non-zero rotation and a 0 deflection at the roller. And in the conjugate beam, the rotation is equivalent to the shear force, so therefore if theta A is non-zero, then the shear force at A in the conjugate beam is non-zero. And the deflection is equivalent to the bending moment, so therefore the bending moment is 0. And at the other end, the rotation at B is non-zero, so the shear force at B is non-zero, and the deflection at B is 0, so the bending moment at B is 0. So at a pin support, there's shear forces but 0 bending moments, and therefore the conjugate support is also a pin. And similarly for a roller support, the shear force can be non-zero, but the bending moment is 0, so therefore the conjugate support on this side is also a roller. And now we need to apply our curvature here as a load on the conjugate beam. So we're calling that minus of the uniformly distributed load is equal to the curvature at midspan, which is PL on 4 EI. So dividing through by -1, we get W is negative. So therefore, the distributed load is going to act upwards and have a magnitude of PL on 4 EI at the top. And we thereby have the same force resultant acting on both sides of the beam due to symmetry. So therefore the reaction force on both sides is also FR, acting in a downward direction. So if we cut the beam just before midspan, we expose a shear force and a bending moment. And as we can see, these two forces cancel, so the shear force at midspan is 0. And that's expected because this beam deflects in a symmetric manner such that the rotation at midspan is 0. So as we said, the shear force in the conjugate beam is equivalent to the rotation in the real beam. Now if we take moments about midspan, so what we get is the reaction FR multiplied by the moment arm, which causes a counterclockwise moment about this point, minus the moment produced by this force, which is FR by the moment arm to midspan. So that'll be 1/3 by L on 2. And plus M is 0. So therefore the bending moment at midspan of the conjugate beam is equal to minus FR by 2/3 L on 2, which is L on 3. And the magnitude of the force resultant is equal to 1/2 by the base of the triangle, which is L on 2, by the height, which is PL on 4 EI. So that gives PL squared on 16 EI. And if we substitute for the force resultant, we get minus PL cubed on 48 EI. And the bending moment in a conjugate beam is equivalent to the deflection in a real beam, and these were both evaluated at midspan. So this here is the well-known maximum deflection for a simply supported beam under a point load. And we know that the shear force of the reaction is equal to the jump produced by the reaction. So therefore the shear force at the support is equal to the negative of the force resultant, which is minus PL squared on 16 EI. And the shear force in the conjugate beam is equivalent to the rotation in the real beam. And as expected, because the rotation is negative, it's clockwise at the support. Please subscribe, like and comment to help me reach more students.